Alright YouTube, so in today's video I want to talk about some things that I want to see return in Fallout 76. And by things returning, I mean stuff that maybe was in 3 and New Vegas that didn't make it into Fallout 4, or maybe things that were new to Fallout 4 that may or may not make it into 76. Now prior to actually learning about Fallout 76, some of the things that people would have said is like, hey, let's bring the old dialogue system back, let's get rid of the voice protagonist, let's bring back maybe the old skill system, the lack of skills in 4 wasn't really that good. Or somebody might say, let's bring the karma system back, or maybe something like the reputation system from Fallout New Vegas. But the thing is, we know all these things will not be in 76. There is no actual dialogue system anyway. We can do emotes with other players, but we're probably going to all be talking through microphones. I mean, there might be some actual dialogue with some of the NPCs that are giving us quests, like robots and things like that, but I don't know if we're actually going to have the option to respond. I feel like we just talk to them, and they'd probably give us quests. Like, I don't know if we're going to have the option to be like, yes, I'll take this quest, no, I won't take this quest, maybe pay me more caps. Maybe that will return again like it was in Fallout 4, where you could ask for more caps before taking some, like, miscellaneous quest, but I don't know. Alright, so first up on the list or whatever for this video is kind of a weird, smaller one that people might not know about, but in Fallout 4, you can actually lean around corners and shoot at people. Now, I actually don't remember the game ever teaching us this. I learned about it in the early days of Fallout 4 back in 2015 from some other YouTuber. I ended up throwing it in some sort of tips and tricks video I did. It's probably a pretty cringy video, I don't remember, but this is a very useful feature considering Fallout 76 is going to have other players, it's going to be a multiplayer Fallout, and of course there's going to be PvP. It wasn't something that I ever used in Fallout 4, I never felt the need to like lean around corners and fight enemies because with the Fallout games I just kind of run through locations, it's never really that much of a struggle. But if you happen to be in a shootout situation with another player, being able to lean in and out of cover is very, very advantageous because you're only exposing your left or right shoulder, of course, depending on which way you're leaning, and really just your head. Like, you're giving them a very small area to shoot at. So this was one of those things that was randomly introduced in Fallout 4, never really talked about it or discussed. There's probably a good portion of you out there watching this right now that never even knew you could lean around corners. I just hope it makes a return in Fallout 76. And next up for what I want to return in Fallout 76 is something that's been in pretty much all the Fallout games, but I want it to return and be expanded upon, and it's being rewarded for exploration. And I'll try to explain what I mean by this. Now, obviously, when you come across a new location in Fallout, you're rewarded with usually experience, and then, of course, you're coming across a new location, which means potentially quests and maybe even new vendors or some enemies to fight to get you to level up even faster, but that's not what I mean by being rewarded with exploration. You'll actually see it in this gameplay, if the video goes long enough. In Hardware Town, you can actually jump between like boxes and shelves, and you can get up on top of the shelves, and there'll be like hidden boxes, and like you can get inside fridges, and there's like a safe on top of one of the shelves at one point. Like, this is what I mean by being rewarded with exploration. Like, if I go out of my way to be like, you know what, it looks like I can maybe get up to this shelf. I wonder if there's something up there, and you actually get up there and find loot. That's something I really, really love, and Fallout 4 did it very well, definitely better than the previous Fallout games. And another probably better example would be the secret hidden location above Diamond City. So right here we have a pretty old video of mine where I'm actually showing you guys how to get up here without the jetpack mod for the power armor. Of course, that'd be a hell of a lot easier to get up here, but you can actually get up here without that. Like, if you explore enough, if you were just happen to be the guy who's bored running from rooftop to rooftop, jumping around, you could come across this hidden location on top of Diamond City, and that's what I would like to see more in Fallout 76. Like, if I'm exploring to this degree, I would love to come across a hidden location. Like, this place has, like, workbenches in it, and, like, power armor station, all kinds of stuff. Now, I don't know if we ever got confirmation as to what this was supposed to be, because it was clearly meant to be a kind of important location, at least something that could be like something like a safe house or whatever. But regardless, it's still in the game, they didn't delete it or whatever, and it's really cool. And I remember after this, going around the entire map of Fallout 4 all the time, in my power armor suit with the jetpack mod, trying to find more locations and things like this, and I can never find it. Like, this is kind of a one-of-a-kind location in Fallout 4, and that's where I talk about, Fallout 76, I want them to expand upon it. This would be badass. Like, it'd be cool if within Fallout 76 you find a location just like that. Like, on top of a major location, you can get, if you jump the right way, maybe use the jetpack mod, you can reach this location just like the hidden area above Diamond City, but maybe it's empty, and you can throw down your camp systems and just build a settlement there. Like, that'd be awesome. But going back to the first point of this particular entry, I also want to be rewarded with exploring and finding loot in locations. Like, if I'm jumping from shelf to shelf again as an example, and I find a safe on top, and I can, crack open the safe. Or, like, if you've played a lot of Fallout 4, you've probably been in, like, the warehouses. They have, like, broken out windows and stuff, and if you maneuver your way up there and get on the, like, roof of that warehouse, you sometimes find, like, a dead skeleton. Or obviously the skeleton's dead, but there'll be like a duffel bag laying next to them and you can loot it. It might not even be the best of loot. I don't always want it to be crazy good loot or something, but just be rewarded with exploring. Now next up, for what I want to return in Fallout 76 that I don't think is actually going to return based on some of the gameplay we've seen, It's a small one that frustrated the hell out of me with Fallout 4, but when you holster your weapon, and it just magically disappears. I've been ranting about this since the release of Fallout 4. I don't know why they got rid of this. Fallout 3 and New Vegas both show whatever weapon you had equipped. If it's like a rifle or whatever, it's on your back. If it's a smaller weapon, like a pistol or some kind of smaller melee weapon, it's on your hip. But regardless, when you holster your weapon, you still get to see it. And from some of the gameplay we've seen for Fallout 76, it doesn't look like that is going to return. So for this first example, we have the characters walking through what looks like the top of the world ski resort, and as you can tell, they have no weapons on their back. They may just not have any weapons equipped, but I think it's safe to assume it's just not showing up. And then with this scene from one of the trailers, we have 4 players interacting. 2 of them have weapons, 2 of them don't, but as you can tell, the ones that do have their weapons, they have them drawn. So I think it's safe to assume that we're not going to have our weapons showing up on our backs, but it is something that I would love to see return, and maybe with some sort of update, they will implement that. My biggest problem with this, if it doesn't return with Fallout 76, is that it's a multiplayer game. And with that, you want to show off your badass armors and weapons that you collect. Like, obviously, that's what's one of the most fun things about multiplayer games, is showing off things that you've earned or collected. And it'd be nice if you have a badass gun that's on your back, it looks cool, have another player walk up to you and be like, man, that looks really badass. Like, where did you get that? And you can point them in the right direction, like this location or this quest is where I earned this at. You can obviously do the same if your weapon's drawn, but my point is, I don't always walk around with my weapon in my hand. And sticking to the topic of weapons, something that I do believe will actually return in Fallout 76 is actual unique weapons. With Fallout 4, we didn't really have that. Pretty much any special or unique weapons that you come across, you could find in the Wasteland. For example, the Righteous Authority. This is a unique laser rifle you get from Paladin Danse in the story, but all it is a laser rifle with the luck modifier. If you play Fallout 4 enough, you could kill enough legendary enemies that you might get a laser pistol, laser rifle, whatever, that has the luck modifier. Bam, you have the Righteous Authority. You can literally just change the name if you wanted to Righteous Authority. And what's sad too is the Righteous Authority isn't very much stronger than like the base laser pistol, which is pretty damn sad. Whereas if you look at like 3 New Vegas, the unique weapons were always stronger than their base weapons. They also tore down a little bit slower, but of course there's no repair in Fallout 4. But with New Vegas, they also looked different, pretty much all of them. And that's something that really bothered me with 4 too, is whenever you come across the unique weapons, they look the exact same. It's like the Righteous Authority looks like every other laser rifle in the game, and that would have been something that would have not made it as bad to me. If the Righteous Authority looked very different from all the other laser rifles, then that would justify me using it, even if it's just got an ability that I can find on any other laser weapon. Now again, this is something that I think is going to return in Fallout 76. We already know the legendary system is coming back, but this time it's going to be tiered. Like, there's going to be different levels to legendary weapons, which tells me that some have to be stronger than others. And it's probably going to be like rare, legendary, epic, or something like that. I don't know how many tiers there are to the legendary system, but that tells me that some weapons have to be stronger than others, or else there's no need for a tier system. Now, Fallout 4 did have a handful of its own unique weapons. There might even be a bunch of one-off weapons I'm not thinking of, but for the most part, they were all just repeats of weapons that you could find in the Wasteland. And if I'm going through some tedious quest in Fallout 76 and at the end I'm rewarded with, let's say, some special shotgun, I want it to actually be different from all the other shotguns in the game. I want it to look different, and I, of course, want it to be stronger and even maybe have a unique ability that only that shotgun has. And that's pretty much it. It's only 4 entries, but there's really not a whole lot of things I want to come back to the series. And again, we already know a lot about the game, so it'd be pointless to be like, hey guys, I want the old dialogue system back, or I'd love to have skills back, because we know they're not going to be in the game. One kind of quick, kind of honorable mention that somebody reminded me about on Twitter is centaurs. For whatever reason, we did not get these in Fallout 4. Instead, we got super mutant hounds, which were a terrible, terrible trade-off. But just visually alone, these are the scariest things in the Fallout games, at least in 3 New Vegas. They just look horrifying, dude. And I'd love to have them come back in Fallout 76, but I don't know if we're going to have that. Maybe, maybe not. And in case you haven't seen it yet, this is the concept art for centaurs for Fallout 4. I don't know why we didn't get these. These are probably more horrifying than the original ones. I don't know what to make of this concept art, but it looks fucking awesome, and I'm so sad this was not in Fallout 4. So again, it's a pretty short list. It's only 4 things with one half-assed honorable mention, but I racked my brain for this. I couldn't really think of anything else that I wanted to come back to the series that wasn't implemented in Fallout 4, or that Fallout 4 introduced that we don't know for sure is going to be in Fallout 76, if that makes sense. I couldn't really think of that many things. And if I want to do a video talking about things I do want introduced in Fallout 76, that's a topic, that's a completely different video. That would be discussing brand new features for Fallout 76, and again, that would be a completely different video. So if you guys can think of some more things that were in Fallout 3 in New Vegas that did not make it into Fallout 4, or if you can think of some stuff that Fallout 4 introduced that we don't know for sure is going to be in Fallout 76, definitely leave them below, because I could really only come up with these 4 things. Maybe 5. And as always, guys, if you went on to enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, turn on notifications, follow me on Twitter at TheDashingDavid. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
Give me forever for a while, give me forever for a while. Quit acting like a baby, or at least less like a child. Give me serenity, or at least just peace.